Okay, let's review a concept that a lot of folks have a difficult time visualizing, and that's what I call troughing. The armamentarium that I like to use is a Shorty 2-speed motor. It has this this configuration here, which identifies it, so I can turn it and go to 30,000 RPM, and a straight attachment with an HP 559 burr in it. The 559 burr is the same thickness as the 301 elevator, and so that's the reason I use it. I would recommend whatever you do, find a burr for a high speed that is the same thickness. That way you make one cut. So what is troughing? Troughing is the concept in which I'm going to take the burr and I'm going to pretend it's a periodontal probe, and I'm going right down into the sulcus, right next to the root itself. If I was to periodontal probe this tooth, you would not see my periodontal probe way out here on the soft tissue. It's right into the sulcus. So this concept requires you to be straight into the sulcus and eliminate the periodontal ligament fibers. This allows the buccal plate to maintain integrity and be completely intact. So at this stage of the game, what you want to do is you want to go down as deep as you possibly can. This is the error that most people have, is they'll go down 1 millimeter. Well, this buccal plate is very thin. You go down 1 millimeter, you crack it, you bust off the buccal plate, and you get nowhere removing the tooth. So I suggest that you go at least to the length of the burr, which is 5 millimeters, and better than that, go all the way up to where the shank starts to turn. Remember the length of this endo. If you did a root canal on this tooth, working length is probably somewhere about 20 millimeters. So if it's 10 millimeters to the height of the buccal bone, I can still go down 10 more millimeters and not worry with that. Do I go 10 millimeters? Probably not. Anyway, so once you've gone down at least past the flutes of the burr, then you can take your 301 elevator that fits tightly into that cut you just did, and then you can twist it like this. Now, if you're getting nowhere doing that, put a 23 forcep on it, that's the cow horn, or a 151 forcep. You know, you've removed the periodontal ligament fibers, which are attaching the tooth to the bone, and so now you've got places to take that thing. If you're getting nowhere with that, go deep into the furcation and then come up. And as you continue to come up toward the occlusal surface, remember that the enamel is real thick. This doesn't like to cut enamel. The high speed will cut through enamel, but so you have to attack the tooth a little differently with the slow speed as compared to the high speed. So the whole concept then is to split it. Do not go all the way through, either the lingual, the distal, or the mesial. Leave it 3/4 of the way through. And then that way you take your 301 elevator and you'll pop it, and you'll never cut a bunch of soft tissue with the burr. You know, once again, what you're doing is with the slow speed handpiece, you can get into the sulcus without having to reflect a full thickness flap. If you need to reflect a full thickness flap, you can do that. That's not an issue. But look at all this. This is the buccal bone. All right, and that's what you're going to see, and that's what you're wanting to maintain intact. You can place a graft, you can place an implant, you can do all kinds of wonderful things if you put the troughing into your quiver of arrows. All right, so give this a try. Make sure you contact me in the clinic and we can work on this concept. But this is one of the most valuable things that I think as an exodontist you can use.